We're in that in-between season right now, that season that's not quite summer and not quite fall. It's a little cool at night. I've got some empty garden beds waiting to be filled with fall crops, which I am a little bit behind on. They should be planted now. But at the same time, there's still tomatoes, there's still basil, there's still peppers. The summer garden is still giving, and I want to make sure that I use every last drop of summer before leaving it behind. I know how much I put into this garden, and I know that I will appreciate later having this food set aside. I've been making a few final batches of pesto this week. My basil's doing so well, so I want to make sure the freezer's stocked with pesto. As a side note, I've brought you along for making pesto several times, and for some reason I've never actually toasted my pine nuts. I toasted them this time, and the flavor is nice. I don't know why I was skipping that step, but it's worth taking the time. I've been storing my pesto in half-pint jars and then using my 4 jars vacuum sealer to take some of the air out of the jars and prevent freezer burn. This is a new tool for me, and it is satisfying to just be able to pump that little lever and have a vacuum seal created with my lids. I've been getting a bowl full of ripe tomatoes, paste tomatoes, every couple days as well. 2 summers ago, my first summer of this little homesteading journey, every time I had ripe tomatoes, I processed them. I had no idea what I was doing, and I was completely overwhelmed. And so I now understand how to make things easier on myself. I core these and put them into a freezer bag, and then they go into the freezer. All season long, I add to that stash, and at the end of the season, then I process them all at once. It's a perfect system because when they thaw after being frozen, they release a lot of their water, which I don't want in my sauces anyways. So they're in the ideal state after being frozen, and of course, processing everything at once saves a ton of time and allows me to deal with these after peak garden season. I'm also loving my new dehydrator, and I'm continuing to make batches of sun-dried tomatoes, just dreaming of creamy sun-dried tomato sauces over pasta in the fall and the winter. I know that's going to make me happy in the midst of January weather. What I really want to share with you today, though, is roasted cherry tomato pizza sauce. I usually keep some of this in the freezer throughout the year, and I think we ran out of our stash in about March, and I just haven't made pizza since then. So, time to restock. I love this roasted cherry tomato pizza sauce because it's delicious, it freezes well, and it's an easy way to use up some of my extra cherry tomatoes. I always have more than I can eat fresh. I usually plant 2 plants, and that's more than any family needs, but I just like to taste different varieties. So this will make about 5 servings, and each serving size that I freeze covers 2 pizzas. For us, that's great. If I do 2 batches of this in a season, that's about as much as we need in a year, but we are not huge pizza eaters. If you are someone who wants to make a year's supply of pizza sauce, this might not be the recipe for you because you have to squeeze out the seeds from every cherry tomato. It doesn't scale up really easily. But if you've got some extra cherry tomatoes and you want to give this a try, it is really delicious. So we're starting with about 12 cups of cherry tomatoes. And with each tomato, at the bottom of the tomato, I'm giving it a little cut, and then I'm gonna squeeze out, oops, I wanna use this bowl. Squeeze out the insides. The tomatoes, the seeds just come right out. And then what's left is what we're going to roast for the sauce. Let me give you a closer view. So I'm just making a little cut and a twist. Then I'm giving it a squeeze, and you can see all those seeds are coming out. So it's just a gel in here of seeds and juice. And then this is the part that we want to roast. Most of the tomatoes I'm doing today are these Sun Gold. They are so sweet. I love them. My favorite cherry tomato is the Midnight Snack. It's partly red, partly black, and has this pretty little red star on top. I should mention that this recipe can also be made with paste tomatoes. Just start with 12 cups of paste tomatoes, cored and squeezed out of some of their juice. I've never made this sauce with almost exclusively yellow tomatoes, so I'm sure it's going to have a different color, and I think it'll be a bit sweeter. These are definitely on the sweet end of cherry tomatoes, so I'm curious to see how the color and the flavor vary from past years that I've made this. Guessing it'll be like a light kind of golden orange color because I do have a few red tomatoes in there. This recipe comes from the book Freeze Fresh. The book has a lot of good recipes in it, and I like this. Gives me a bunch of options for prepared foods that I can make ahead and freeze instead of canning. I love to can, but it is an involved process, and sometimes just want to stick something in a container or a bag and put it in the freezer and be done. There's the final product. Isn't it beautiful? And here's everything that came out of them. I'm not sure what I'll do with this. Some of you mentioned to me when I was making salsa and you saw me drain the juice off of it and put it down the drain that I should cook rice in it, or that you use them to make things like Bloody Marys. I don't know, this is a lot of seeds for rice. I actually am on a really particular eating plan right now to deal with some health issues, and I'm supposed to be eating 9 cups of vegetables a day. So although I don't want to, I might pour up a glass of this and just drink it, and that'll tick one of my boxes for the day. We'll see. Anyhow, that is a little bit tedious, I won't lie, but I made myself check the clock ahead of time because I wanted to know how long it took me, and that took me about 15 minutes. So not a huge time investment. It's just, you know, work to do while listening to a podcast or listening to some music. All right, I'm gonna get some olive oil on these and get them into the oven. Now there's supposed to be 2 tablespoons of olive oil across the 2 pans. So I'm just gonna drizzle and estimate it. This does take a long time in the oven. It's going to need 90 minutes to roast and bring out that good roasted tomato flavor. "90 minutes, and we wait. Cheers. Oh, that's actually not bad. I was fully prepared not to like it. I mean, the texture is seedy, but the flavor is vibrant. These look beautiful. It smells really good in here. My son just got home from school, so I'm going to blend these, and then I think he'll help me season them. So I'm just prepping my other ingredients, all the seasonings. I'm gonna start with getting some lemon juice. I need 3 tablespoons. I'm guessing this will be 2 tablespoons, and then I might need to use bottled for the rest. Really should have worn an apron. I don't know why I didn't wear an apron today. Definitely squeezed some tomatoes onto the shirt, and now it's got lemon juice. That's all right. And we've got some garlic from the garden. It calls for a tablespoon. My cloves are pretty large. I grew the German extra hearty, and it's a large garlic variety, so I'm pretty sure this clove Works out to about a tablespoon. Then I need a few herbs. I've got oregano from the garden.
Can I help, Mama?
Yeah. You ready to help?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you carry these over to the counter? Over there. That counter. Oh, one more. Onion powder. So for seasonings, we've got oregano, rosemary, parsley, onion powder. I'm using my garlic scape powder instead of garlic powder. I love this flavor. It's just a little bit different from garlic powder. Crushed red pepper. And then I just realized that I'm out of dried basil. So it's not quite ideal, but I'm gonna chop up some fresh basil instead. All right, Bubba, you wanna come stand here? So we're gonna put all these tomatoes in, and then you're gonna help me measure out some seasonings. Okay. Now, you ready to measure some stuff?
Yep.
Let me get our measuring spoons. Okay, we need 3 tablespoons lemon juice. I'll hand this to you and you put it in, okay?
Okay. Can I hold it by myself?
Yeah.
Why do we also need lemon juice?
It just brings out some good flavor in the tomatoes. Good. Perfecto. Okay. Now we need 1 tablespoon chopped fresh garlic.
Is this 1 tablespoon?
The biggest one. This is 1 tablespoon. All right, can you dump in that tablespoon of garlic? And we need 1½ teaspoons salt. Got 1 teaspoon. And then this one is 1/2 teaspoon. There you go.
So we need 1½
Then we're gonna put in a tablespoon of oregano. Look, that's from our garden. Parsley. Here we go. 1. Good. 2. A teaspoon granulated onion.
1 teaspoon.
Onion, a teaspoon granulated garlic. This is our special garlic scape powder. I forgot that we still had this. It's kind of fun to discover it. Okay. Now we need 1/2 teaspoon of rosemary. Getting a little low on the rosemary, but I've got more drying right now from the garden, so we'll refill this soon. Put in that 1/2 teaspoon. And then we're going to do a 1/4 teaspoon. So that's the smallest one. Can you find the smallest one?
A 1/4 teaspoon is so cute.
It's so cute. And then 1/4 teaspoon crushed red pepper.
It's so cute.
There we go. A few fresh basil leaves because I'm out of dried basil. And I think this will hopefully chop them up. All right, buddy boy, can you press this? This is going to turn it on. This sauce is thick and beautiful. Tried a tiny taste of it, but I'm eager to get it out of here and try a spoonful and see how it is. Look how thick that is. The color is not what I expected. It turned much more orange. I think the roasting darkens everything. This texture is so thick. You can see how it sticks to the spoon. Squeezing that water and seeds out of the tomatoes is really the right idea, even though it takes extra time. This is a little bit less than I expected to end up with. I only roughly estimated my measurement of the tomatoes that I started with. So I don't think this is going to be the 5 servings that I had assumed it would be. I think I might have 3 here. I set aside 1 cup measurements, and that is enough for 2 pizzas for our family. So this might just be 3. I'm definitely going to need to do another batch of this to fill out our freezer, but it's beautiful and it tastes really good. This batch of roasted tomato pizza sauce was thicker than previous batches I've made, and I also wound up with less, so I added back some of that tomato juice that I'd squeezed out, just thinned up the texture a little bit, make it more like a traditional sauce, and stretched it a bit. I put the sauce in the fridge and let it stay there overnight just to allow all the flavors to meld before I got it into freezer containers and preserved it. So I was hoping for 3 containers worth here, but it turned into 2. These containers are just over a cup, and like I said, I find a cup of sauce to be the right amount for 2 pizzas for us. I don't know why this batch turned out so small. I guess I ended up with, a thicker sauce than usual, and also I just wasn't great about measuring the tomatoes in the beginning. So I will definitely be making some more batches of this to end up with more. This made 2 and a little bit of change, so I saved that leftover sauce to add into the next batch. I'm happy to set aside this taste of summer and know that it is in our freezer waiting for us whenever we want it. I'm curious what your rhythms look like right now. Are you living summer life still, or are you firmly rooted in fall? If you give this sauce a try, be sure to let me know. I hope you love it. Take care, and I'll see you next week.